All right, so I don't know if you saw this. Vladimir Putin spoke for about an hour or so without notes, looking at the camera. He was really angry, and at least it seemed that way to me. And he was justifying to Russia, I guess, why they deserve Ukraine, why Ukraine was so wrong to leave Russia. Kind of fascinating. Don't know all the ins and outs. We'd like to bring in, however, Scott Rouse, body language expert, author of Understanding Body Language, How to Decode Nonverbal Communication in Life, Love, and Work. Scott, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you holding up?
Terrific. Let's take a look at Putin in action. We're going to turn up the volume.
All right.
Not that we speak Russian, but let's see what happens here.
Национализация и плановая система народного хозяйства – все это на деле превратило в простую декларацию, в формальность. Заявленные, но не работающие принципы государства.
All right, so he's leaning back in his chair. And quite frankly, he doesn't look like he's not reading anything. What do you make? What did you see right there?
Well, he's contained. He's holding in. There are going to be people just like me that are watching him and are going to be telling people on our side what he's actually thinking when he hits these specific words or phrases. And when we hit specific words or phrases, we use what are called illustrators. And you say this, this, and this. So that when you illustrate something, you want to hit that word like that. So when he's doing that, and we don't see a lot of it, that's really important to him at that point. So whatever it is he's talking about right there is fairly important. He wants to make sure he gets that point across.
And then also, let's see, one more where he loses, you think, a little bit of confidence. Let's take a look.
Такой миной, повторю, было право выхода из СССР. В середине 1980-х годов на фоне нарастающих социально-экономических проблем, очевидного кризиса плановой экономики, национальный вопрос, сутью которого были не какие-то ожидания и не сбывшиеся чаяния народов Союза.
Yeah, initially he seemed a little bit more relaxed. What's happening there?
Right. Well, that's actually fairly normal for his behavior, which is part of what we call his baseline, the way he reacts or acts quite often. And so at that point, he's just finishing a phrase or finishing the idea that he's been giving, whatever that idea is at that point. And as he finishes it, then he sort of relaxes and just goes on to the next point, because this was fairly long, and he's trying not to look very interested in what's happening here. I think that's all put on.
That's well, I will give him this. He's very relaxed. I mean,
he's real relaxed.
So overall, is this a madman who wants to take over the world? Size him up if you could? And I know that's you're going to take a leap here, but what kind of guy are we dealing with here?
I think we're looking at somebody who's paying attention to every move he makes, from his hands on the desk, or we see his fingers come up. He's not saying, "Well, lift these fingers now," but he's very contained. He's holding himself in. He's not going to let us see what he's really thinking, and that's the way you do it. He's very tight. This kind of thing scares me a little bit. It puts me on edge just from what I do for a living. I look at that and go, "Wow, that's not good," because he's hiding everything at that point. It's really tough to read what he's really thinking.
Wow. Hey, one small little thing, it's not body language, but I noticed he's got about 4 or 5 phones near him, different phones. And that is a throwback to communist Russia, where the more phones you had on your desk, the more important you were. They didn't have multi-line phones. So you can look at communist leaders. You were more important if you had like 7 or 8 phones. And it's funny that he's got 4 phones there. I want to move on to Kamala Harris. She went to Munich. I don't think she should have gone. I don't think this worked out well for her. But let's take a look at her. And this turns out to be something of an academic seminar. And I don't think that's what she had in mind. I thought she was going to give a speech and then leave. But take a look.
All right.
We together established a set of rules, norms that have governed ever since. And Europe has enjoyed unprecedented peace, security, and prosperity through a commitment to a set of defining principles.
All right, so here's, before you react, this is scripted, and she's pretty good at that. She's not bad at it, and I think she's totally kind of like in her element because she's not being challenged. Sir, am I off?
Well, you're correct. She's not being challenged, but at the same time, she's been told she's really excited about what's happening here. She's trying to contain her excitement, and she's probably a little bit nervous. That's why I've never seen anybody flap their arms like that before. That's something fairly new for me. I've seen one go, and when something's happening, but it's very rarely do you see two going at the same time. That might be the first time I've ever seen that. But she's hitting those on almost every word she's saying. So even though her hands are done like this, she's been told to do that, or quote unquote trained to do that. They didn't get in there and do the minutia of it with her and talk to her about why she shouldn't do that and not to do that, or test it and see how she's going to be during that. So it's not that it was bad training. It's just nobody paid close attention to her.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. All right. So, well, look, this is now where she's challenged. She's sitting down with the head of the Institute, and he asks her questions that I don't think she's really ready for. Let's see.
All right.
I think that the heart of your question really does demand the importance of the perseverance and enduring nature of institutions and alliances.
Sir, what do you make of that?
Well, of course, she's trying to get some thinking time. That's why she keeps waiting and talking and stretching that time so her brain can burn through there and find the answer. When you see someone who's giving illustrators like this, like I just did, these illustrators, and they're not hitting on the words, that means something's up. You're not sure about your answer, you're insecure about it, or maybe you don't know all the answer, but you're pretending like you do. So in that situation, those aren't landing right on her words as she's saying. They're soft. She's not committed to what she's saying. In other words,
it's fascinating. You totally nail it every single time. We all have to get this book, Understanding Body Language: How to Decode Nonverbal Communication in Life, Love, and Work. I think we have that book cover. There it is. And Scott Rouse, we appreciate it so much. To be continued for sure. Come back soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you in a bit.
You bet. Be right back.